Hello, the Pioneer viewers. As you know, our agenda is the Russia-Ukraine war. The war has been going on for a long time. There are new developments about the war on the front line every day. The clashes between the Ukrainian army and the Russian army intensify from time to time, and both sides are fighting for new gains. The capabilities of armies are one of the most important factors determining the power of war. Armies with a strong communication and logistic capabilities also have a strong fighting power. Battle management and battle communication are critical enough to lead armies to victory. Thanks to the staff intelligence and realistic approaches of the officers, successful work can be done in important regions. All these criteria show how important they are in the war in the region. The top commanders of the Ukrainian army showed how effective staff intelligence is. The Ukrainian army seems to have strongly built its war strategy. By making extremely important moves in the counterattacks of the Russian army, the Russian troops are inflicting heavy losses. In the process, in which Ukrainian military intelligence is also effective, the Russian army is losing morale. An attack was launched by the Russian army the other day. The attack launched by the Russian army was prevented by the troops of the Ukrainian army. During this defense of the Ukrainian army, it was determined that the Russian troops fled from the front line. According to the information announced by the Ukrainian army, the Russian army shamefully left the battlefield. The failure of the Russian army's offensive operations has been the target of the much criticisms from the Ukraine supporters. Let's take a look at the Ukrainian army's strong defense strategy. As the Pioneer, we continue to cover the Russia-Ukraine war. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so that you don't miss our daily map reports and reports on the agenda. I also read all your comments on our videos. Please continue to share your ideas about our content in the comments with us. Let's start if you're ready. The Pioneer reports. Over the past day, the Russian army has launched a series of attacks on the Ukrainian targets. According to the information released by the Ukrainian Army Brigade, Kiev forces successfully thwarted an offensive launched by the Russian army in the eastern Ukraine. The attack of the Russian army was repelled by the 58th Brigade of the Ukrainian Ground Forces. The units of the Russian army started a strong offensive at the first light of the morning. The attack launched at dawn was observed by the Ukrainian military intelligence. After the observation, the Ukrainian army met the Russian troops. The Russian troops were stopped by the Ukrainian army units before they reached their target. The 58th Brigade was active in the Donetsk front line of the eastern Ukraine throughout Russia's full-scale occupation, which began in February 2022. The intensity of the fighting near the town of Avdiivka, which is described as the getaway to Donetsk city, has increased in recent days. Since October 10, Russia has sent thousands of troops, tanks, and armored vehicles to capture the town. However, Moscow's forces have reportedly suffered high losses in troops and equipment. It has been observed that the Russian army is amassing new troops to attack the town again in the coming days. Ukrainian military intelligence is constantly conducting reconnaissance and observation activities. Thanks to these activities of the Ukrainian military intelligence, early information about the movements and situation of the Russian troops in the region is obtained. As a result, when there is a possibility of an attack, the Ukrainian army responds in prepared manner. The 58th Brigade spokesperson made some statements about the latest developments. According to the statement, the Russian troops who tried to attack fled as a result of the intervention of the Ukrainian army. It was determined that Russian troops left many vehicles and equipment in the region during the escape. According to the spokesperson's statements, not everyone managed to escape. Approximately 50 Russian soldiers were neutralized in the region. According to the information shared by the Ukrainian officials, a major blow was struck to the Russian occupation forces. Russian targets successfully hit by Ukrainian artillery units were destroyed. Many Russian tanks and armored vehicles were hit. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky described the situation around Avdiivka as particularly difficult. However, at this point, it is believed that the Ukrainian army has gained the upper hand in the region. The Ukrainian army's strategy in the region seems to have worked. Antoine Kutskon, the spokesman for the 110th Mechanized Brigades of the Ukrainian army, said that Russia is making new preparations to seize Avdiivka. According to Kutsukon, the Russian army has accumulated a strong reserve in the region. It was stated that the Russian army is continuing with its plans to encircle Avdiivka. However, the movements of the Russian troops in the region and their unsuccessful offensive attempts are being monitored by the Ukrainian army. The efforts of the Russian troops to encircle Avdiivka are monitored by drones of the Ukrainian army. Russian intelligence which is trying to gather information on the Ukrainian army's strategy in the region, has not yet reached any information. Military experts believe that Russian forces are trying to gather more manpower and material for larger-scale offensive operations near Avdiivka. The General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine issued a statement on the Russian offensive. According to these statements, the Ukrainian army successfully thwarted more than 20 Russian attacks near Avdiivka. In addition, Ukrainian forces have made new gains near Avdiivka in recent days by organizing successful counterattacks. The Air Force of the Armed Forces of Ukraine also made statements on the latest situation. According to the statement, there was an attack attempt by the Russian troops last night. The attack attempt of the Russian troops was successfully thwarted by the Ukrainian defense. Ukrainian defenders shot down 7 of the 9 Iranian-made Shahed 136-131 drone used by the Russian troops to attack Ukraine. In addition, missiles fired by the Russian troops into Ukrainian territory were destroyed by the Ukrainian defense. The successful defense performance of the Ukrainian army also reassured the Ukrainian people. As the war continues on the front line, new aid packages for the Ukrainian army continue to be announced. In order for the Ukrainian army to fight against the Russian occupation, the support must continue. According to the information announced by the German federal government the other day, a new military aid package is being prepared. The military support packages to be provided by Germany includes important weapons and vehicles. The German government is sending 10 battle tanks, 14 tracked all-terrain vehicles, 5 tracked carrier ambulances to the Ukrainian army. In addition, thousands of bullets, 10 reconnaissance aircraft and other equipment are also included in the military support package. In the coming days, the Ukrainian army is expected to receive many other support packages with different contents. What do you think about the Ukrainian army's repulsion of the Russian troops? How do you interpret the Russian army's failed offensive attempts? How do you think the work of the Ukrainian military intelligence affects the Russian army? What do you think about the support packages sent to the Ukrainian army? What do you think about the importance of the town of Avdiivka? We care about your opinion. Please share it with us.